Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome, bienvenidos, espero que todos estén muy bien. In this video, we are going to practice using the present tense of Spanish stem changing verbs, specifically the O to UE pattern. Be sure that you've studied the topic in your textbook. There's a grammar tutorial video that you can watch also. If you're joining us from outside of the class and you don't have any materials, it's simple. Just Google the topic Spanish stem changing verbs and you'll find websites and YouTube videos that explain how the stem changing verbs work. And then come back here for the practice. So let's do just a little bit of review first. So why do we call these stem changing verbs? Well, let's go back to the beginning to answer that question. First of all, you have to remember what a regular verb is. A regular verb, when you conjugate a regular verb, it does not change. It just follows the same pattern. And what that means is the stem or the root does not change. In order to find the stem or root of an infinitive, you take off the AR, ER, or IR. So for the verb dormir, if I remove the IR, I'm left with the stem, DORM. When I conjugate it, it changes in some of the forms. So it's that simple. This is why we call it a stem changing verb. So notice that the O changes to a UE in all of the forms except for the nosotros. The nosotros doesn't have the change. And the vosotros or vosotras form does not have the change. All other forms, the O changes to a UE. And you have to be careful with the pronunciation. The pronunciation of the O and the UE are very different. So dormir, duermo, duermo, duermes, duerme, dormimos, dormís, duermen. Okay, so let's go ahead and practice. This is kind of the standard exercise that you'll see in textbooks. We have our subject pronoun, our infinitive, and then something else, mucho, which means a lot. So what we're trying to say here is I sleep a lot. How would you say I sleep a lot? ¿Cómo se dice I sleep a lot en español? Duermo mucho. Duermo mucho. I sleep a lot. Duermo mucho. Duermo mucho. If you want to ask someone the question, do you sleep a lot? Maybe you want to ask this question to a patient as part of an interview, trying to determine their general health. The question would be, ¿duermes mucho? Remember, when you're asking patients, generally you're going to use usted when addressing a patient. So this would be tú. Maybe you would ask this to a family member, someone you know well. ¿Duermes mucho? Do you sleep a lot? The patient sleeps very little. ¿Cómo se dice the patient sleeps very little? La paciente duerme poco. La paciente duerme poco. The patient sleeps very little. La paciente duerme poco. We sleep until 9 o'clock. ¿Cómo se dice? We sleep until 9 o'clock. Dormimos hasta las 9. Dormimos hasta las 9. We sleep until 9 o'clock. Dormimos hasta las 9. Note that the H is silent, hasta, and there is no stem change here, so it's dormimos, dormimos, dormimos hasta las 9. The patients do not sleep late. ¿Cómo se dice? The patients do not sleep late. Los pacientes no duermen tarde. Los pacientes no duermen tarde. The patients do not sleep late. Los pacientes no duermen tarde. Well, now that you're familiar with the O to UE stem change pattern, the only thing left to do is memorize the other O to UE stem changing verbs. So these are 5 of the most common O to UE stem changers. We have poder, which is a very important verb. Poder means to be able to, and it is a modal verb, which means we use it with an infinitive, for example, to say to be able to do something. So the forms are puedo, puedes, puede, podemos, podéis, pueden. Volver, volver means to return or to come back. Vuelvo, vuelves, vuelve, volvemos, volvéis, vuelven. Morir, morir means to die. Muero, mueres, muere, morimos, morís, mueren. Encontrar, to find. Encuentro, encuentras, encuentra, encontramos, encontráis, encuentran. Contar, contar means to count. It also means to tell, like to tell a tale. Cuento, cuentas, cuenta, contamos, contáis, cuentan. Okay, well that's it for this video. I do have a separate video on the other stem changing patterns. You can find those on my channel homepage. Okay, well that's it for this video. Hasta luego. Ciao.